Hundreds of people are holding demonstrations at government buildings in Victoria today.
The people who work in the building have expressed, because they've been reading the media reports about alleged, shouting, shoving, spitting at the legislative action the other day. So we just want to refrain from any name calling, shaming.
Organizers told protesters to keep things peaceful this morning as they geared up for the day of action. A protest at the legislature earlier this week became heated, even violent, and a court injunction barred demonstrators from the legislative grounds. There are hundreds of people demonstrating in Victoria today. Protesters are spread around the city outside government buildings, and the CBC's Tanya Fletcher is in Victoria, and she joins us now live. So Tanya, you've been there for a few hours now. What have you seen around the city?
Well, we've seen exactly this, Andrew. This is one of the many government offices that they've been protesting all morning. It's now noon here on the West Coast. This is when they're supposed to be wrapping up. So a few of the different government office demonstrations have consolidated here, and you can see it's billed as a government shutdown. However, they have been very peaceful. They said, we're not protesters, we are picketers. And so you can see it's been in pockets throughout the city. This is one of the main intersections in the city. You can see there's another group coming just across the street from their location as they begin to take down their pickets. But we spoke to organizers, all over who say, look, we're not here to cause violence, we're not here to intimidate, and we're not here to shame anyone. And they say they are very much here to send a message, but a peaceful one.
We are not stopping anyone from entering or leaving. This is completely peaceful. We are not touching anyone. If we are talking to them, we're talking to them with love in our hearts, and we just want them to know why we're here, what we believe in, and why, if they choose to stand with us, that would be amazing, and how that would speak volumes to the issue and to the movement at whole. Mm-hmm.
And so we've been speaking from the government as well, and so far they've been very open to, they very much support peaceful protests and the right to do so, and that has been exactly what we've been seeing here today, Andrew.
A protest now at the legislature earlier this week got pretty heated, though, Tanya. How did the government prepare for today's protests?
Well, the government really didn't release its plans. The Premier had said all along that they had a plan in place for today because they are targeting government offices. They didn't tell what that plan was, but it sounds like several hours in, many of these government workers simply didn't come into work today. They were perhaps given the option to work from home, or keep in mind it's the Friday of a long weekend, so many have flex days and would have taken the day off anyway. So the impact in that regard seems to have been quite minimal. We didn't witness, we witnessed a small handful of workers showing up at the building, but they were not blocking anyone from entering. So they were certainly being vocal and visible, but nobody was being violent. There was no unlawful actions that we could see. And the Premier made it very clear that what happened at the legislature on Tuesday, when the protesters surrounded the building on all sides, blocking all entrances, there were reports of assaults. The Victoria Police wound up investigating, and the Premier said that was unacceptable. What we're seeing here today is a much different scene. These people have been friendly and open, and they've been getting a lot of honks and a lot of support from a lot of people around the city here. Andrew?
And so, Tanya, just finally, just tell us a little bit about, what they're saying, some of the chants, what you've been hearing.
Yeah, so right now, I'll just let you take a listen.
Stand up, fight back! When Canada prioritizes profit over Indigenous lives, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! Thank you all for being here.
So you can see here a lot of these signs respect Wet'suwet'en sovereignty, and so they're very much in support of the hereditary chiefs in Wet'suwet'en, and a lot of these people hold this government accountable, people over profit, but overall just broad support for Wet'suwet'en, and that's their message here today.
Tanya, thank you. That is the CBC's Tanya Fletcher live in Victoria.